Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops of the great millstone, who do rule and teach well. Peace and blessings to the hopefully elect. So we going into, inflation here. People are noticing that they've been noticing for a while that when they've been going to the grocery market, they're paying higher than normal prices for food. And this is being deliberately done because the powers that be, they've been destroying food plants. They've been culling off farmers' livestock, being told to destroy crops and animals. And also policies have been set in place to where they want to put a squeeze on people, basically, so that when this new system is set up, people will willingly accept it. All of this is leading to the UBI because right now people are having to supplement food for their families by going to food banks or certain charities, donation centers where they can get food, because otherwise people wouldn't be able to eat. And you had Kamala Harris recently say that she wants to stop price gouging in these markets, which really that's going to just make things worse. That's going to make inflation go even higher, all right? Because when you start to tell these manufacturers of food, how much they can charge, then, the competition for lower prices is going to pretty much go out the window. So everything is going to be high. It's going to be set at a standard price. Also, you have the dollar that continues to weaken. This economy is trash. And it's being reflected in you having to pay more for your goods and your services, for you having to pay more to live in general. And this is causing people much grief and much sorrow because their quality of life is pretty much, dirt poor, outside of those that, have some type of, monetary means or have support. But majority of people are out here struggling. Hell, even we feel it, but the Lord provides for us every day. Make sure that we have what we need. We ain't homeless. We ain't starving. Yahweh Bashmi Shai takes care of those that seek him. And that's really the message, behind these lessons, man, is to, seek the Lord, fear the Lord so that the Lord can make a way for you through all things. All right. But no doubt about it, people is out here feeling the squeeze. They feeling the crunch. And very soon, man, you're going to be seeing people, crime and theft. It's already crazy, but it's about to get to the next level. See, so we'll play this real quick. Got some articles as well with some precepts, and Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. Also, Salakia, if I sound constipated, like, not constipated, but stuffed up, felt like I was coming down with something yesterday. I don't know what it is, but, Lord willing, this lesson is still edifying.
Tell me how this cost me over $500 in 2024. Inflation is crazy. Tell me how...
Yeah, now, $500 is crazy. I mean, he really don't even have nothing. All he got is some chicken, some eggs, some pork, It's known, more than likely he's an Edomite. You know what I'm saying? Some pork, bacon, cheese, some ballpark hot dogs, some, oranges,
How this cost me over $500 in 20...
Pop-Tart potato juice, which did $500 for this right here is absolutely outrageous. All right, I don't know where he got this from, but to pay $500 just for this, that's insane, man. All right, but it shows you the times that we're in. It shows you that the dollar doesn't have the buying power that it once did. It shows you that this place is basically on the way out. All right, so the Most High is plaguing this place in all aspects. People can't eat. People are losing work, losing their careers and jobs. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much everything now is unaffordable. Credit card debt is at an all-time high because no one has money to pay for things outright. And like I said, this is all leading to UBI, universal basic income, to where the government, they gonna put you on that monthly stipend. You get 2,000, 2,500 a month, whatever the number is that they gonna put out there. But a lot of people are gonna get on that system because look at what's going on. You know what I'm saying? You got people out here paying $500 for, I would say, 2 bags of groceries. Like, that's crazy. 2 to 3 bags max. All right, so when they bring that UBI, that's going to be a very enticing, uh, benefit that a lot of people are going to latch on to, man. People are ultimately, they going to go down to Egypt for help, but the man of the Lord, we see and we telling you what's about to happen. See? Because these elites, they've deliberately allowed the prices to get just out of control, so that they can pretty much back you in a corner and give you their solution. So now, soaring sausage sales could indicate economic turmoil as consumers turn away from costlier meats. All right, and I'm sure other brothers can attest to it. But a steak or some lamb now, crazy. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's like grass fed. Like if you want to get like the top tier meat that's grass fed and grass finished, that's gonna cost you an arm and a leg. I'm talking like one steak it'd be like $20, man. You see what I'm saying? A rack of lamb is like $30 to $40 depending on where you go. So a lot of people now, when it comes to the meat, they're turning now to sausage, because pretty much sausage is a costlier economic meat. And most of that sausage is swine. So we don't really mess with that sausage like that. But these Babylonians, they're having to cut corners. But it shows you how bad the economy is. The fact that people are having to live like this. As American families battle the impact of rampant inflation, more are resorting to buying sausage as a meat alternative to cut back on consumer spending. This, however, has some experts worried that the modest growth of sausage sales is indicative of deeper-rooted economic turmoil as the price of necessities continues to climb. People at the end of the day are trading down right now, Kelly Lester, a policy analyst for the Center for Food, Power, and Life at the John Locke Foundation, told Fox and Friends on Thursday. Budgets are strained and people are really feeling the effects of the last few years of inflation when it comes to the grocery store. Yeah. And remember back in the beginning of the pandemic when they was giving people that stimulus check, $1,200 a month more, if you had, children and stuff like that, people was getting that money and they was living good. Groceries were relatively cheap, so people had extra income. They were able to, run up a bag. But now the cost of everything is so exorbitant that the money that you made back in 2020 compared to now, it's not feasible for you to live a comfortable life in this society. Once again, that's how the elites want it. Okay, because these prices continue to go up. It's not looking like it's going down. It's not going to go down because the dollar is not what it used to be. You know what I'm saying? And they're literally tanking America. You see what I'm saying? And people are feeling it in their pockets. People are feeling it at the gas pump, at the grocery store. You see what I'm saying? They're feeling it when it's time to pay property tax for their houses. They're feeling it on their mortgage. You know what I'm saying? They're feeling it on their insurance, the car note. You see, so everywhere, in every facet, man, things are just costing more, and people are stressed out. Because it's not like your paycheck is going up. Everything around you, the cost to live is going up exponentially, but you're not getting paid more. All right, so it's putting people in a very stressed out position. See, but right now, inflation is going crazy, and real soon it's going to be hyperinflation. Which when you get to the point of hyperinflation in a society, that is pretty much over. All right, because then the money is worth nothing. The same thing happened in Venezuela with their currency. It was a point where, goods and services down there were high at one point, but then it came to the point of hyperinflation, to where now pretty much the money down there is monopoly money. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth nothing. The same thing is happening to the American dollar. All right, now you're not gonna see it because when Saudi Arabia came off that petrodollar a few months ago, you didn't feel it right away. I mean, inflation was there, but it was kind of like, you can still find a way around it. But now it's even worse, man. You know what I'm saying? Now it's just ridiculous. You see, so the further that we go towards the end of this year into 2025, there is going to be a collapse. There is going to be hyperinflation. Okay, the Texas Manufacturing Outlet Survey released a report this week indicating the climb in sausage sales can be considered an indication that the economy is struggling more than customers realize. And the official reports that have come out from these certain, newsrooms and stuff like that, they'll tell you that the economy is better than ever. All right, well, we can look around and see that's not the case. Businesses are closing down, people are losing jobs. The money ain't flowing like that. All right. We are seeing modest growth in our category of dinner sausage, as sausage is a good protein substitute for higher priced proteins and can stretch consumers' food budgets. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, sausage is approximately $6 cheaper than beef steak, providing struggling consumers with a cheaper option. The average price of both sausage and beef steak has climbed consistently since 2020. The reality right now is that everything is up across the board. Housing prices, energy prices, and food prices. The basic necessities are up, and they've been up cumulatively for years now. And even though the Biden administration will tell you inflation is going down, that doesn't mean that we're still not feeling the effects of the last few years. Yeah, because when they gave you all the stimulus all them years ago, people didn't understand basic economics. All right, you pump. It's like, like when you gave people those stimulus checks years ago, it was cool at the time because people were benefiting. You know what I'm saying? Society, inflation really hadn't really hit like that yet. But now the chickens are coming home to roost, where all those dollars that were pumped into circulation back in 2020 is now oversaturated the market to now where there's too much money in the supply. Other nations, they're getting away from the dollar. So those dollars now are coming back home to America. And when there's too much money and not enough demand for it, well, that's how you kill the dollar. That's how you kill anything. Okay? So this is what you're seeing. Inflation, hyperinflation soon to come. And these people is feeling it. You know what I'm saying? These Babylonians is feeling it out here, man. Like now they resorting to dinner sausage for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So this right here should show you that rough times are ahead. Let's go to Revelation 6. Revelation 6. Revelation 6 and 6. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and of 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. All right. So what is this going into? This here is going into inflation. All right. When it says a measure of wheat for a penny and 3 measures of barley for a penny is representative of a day's wages. Okay. So let's say that your daily wage is $200. Right. You would have to give $200 for a measure of wheat, a small measure of wheat or barley, all right, grain that you could make bread or, eat for the day. And like like we saw in that TikTok video, the guy, it had to be 2 or 3 bags max that he had, came up out the store spending $500+ dollars. Now $500 is way more than the average daily wage. Okay, that's well above. So if he's paying $500 for 2 to 3 bags of groceries, man, just imagine the average individual, because he probably got some money, but just imagine the average individual. They got 2 to 3 children, they got a car note they got to pay, they got rent, mortgage, you see what I'm saying, insurance, everything is up, man. But yeah, people are now having to give a day's wages for a very small amount of food. You see, these are the times that we're in. 2 Ezra 8:50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. Yeah. So the Most High, he's plaguing these people. All right. Because going back to 2020 again, back then people was, eating good. People was proud, man. You see? And really that whole pandemic was brought about to humble these people. You know what I'm saying? Because 2019, people had a positive outlook on the world. People were like, yeah, the 2020s is going to be my decade. Like, this the decade where I'm about to shine. I'm about to do this. I'm about to do that. A lot of people had that very optimistic mindset. But 2020 came around and people haven't recovered since. All right? People haven't recovered, man. So these great miseries that have befallen people, not making enough to live, struggling, being homeless, all right? Food insecurity. You see what I'm saying? This is all because they have walked in great pride. This is a great humbling that the Most High is executing on the inhabitants of the earth, especially Babylon the Great. See? What the Kroger-Albertsons merger means for your grocery bill. Right, now check this out, because this is being brought out as a good thing. That, oh yeah, you're not going to be able to price gouge and charge too much for food. But we're going to get into what this really means for the consumer, what this really means for the economy. Because Kamala Harris, right, she about to put even more of a squeeze on these Babylonians. All right. It says, as inflation and grocery prices remain central issues in the upcoming November election, the Federal Trade Commission has kicked off a trial to block a merger between the two largest traditional supermarket chains in the U.S. On Monday, Kroger and Albertsons defended their $25 billion merger plan in a federal court hearing in Oregon, where they tried to overcome the U.S. government's objections. The two companies proposed what would be the largest supermarket merger in history, arguing that it would help them reduce costs and better compete with big rivals like Walmart and Costco. Consumer prices, particularly those related to food and housing, have become a political football in the 2024 presidential campaign. Vice President Kamala Harris has called for a ban on price gouging in the food and grocery sectors, though critics and experts have questioned the effectiveness of such a policy. The FTC sued to block the deal, claiming it would eliminate competition and raise grocery prices amid already high food price inflation. Yeah, and that's what they want to do. This is what Kamala is calling for. All right, on paper, if you don't know what's going on, you will look at it and say, oh yeah, well, she want to bring down the price gouging. When why would they allow it? See? Because, yeah, you have some places that are high, but there are also cheaper places that you can shop to buy food. See? But what she wants to do is she pretty much wants to standardize or regulate the prices among all the grocery chains to a certain level. All right? So, for example, if you pay, let's say, $5 for a dozen eggs at your local market, right? And let's say you go to Costco and the eggs there are $7, right? Well, guess what? The average price, they're going to figure out the average price for eggs nationwide, and that's going to be the standard price everywhere. See? So I forget the word, there's a word for it, but yeah, she's pretty much monopolizing the market on prices, man. Things are going to be standardized pretty much across, the whole nation. So say goodbye to the, days where you could go to the market and, get deals and stuff like that. Now it's about to be standard everywhere, which this shit is wicked, man. See? But this is what happens when the wicked bear rule. Proverbs 29:2, the people mourn. This lawsuit is part of an effort aimed at helping Americans feed their families, right? Yeah, so this merger is a big deal. It says there are differing opinions. Kroger has pledged to cut grocery prices by $1 billion if the merger is approved. doubling its previous commitment of 500 million. However, the FTC and some industry experts are skeptical of such promises, which they can't guarantee that, right? Because the supply chains are breaking down. Esau, he's cutting off the farmers. You know what I'm saying? He's destroying manufacturing plants that deal with the food and stuff like that. So that's just smoke and mirrors. Really what's going to happen is hyperinflation. However, the FTC and some industry experts are skeptical of such promises. In the case of grocery prices, market concentration is a problem. When chains merge, it can create long-lasting pressure on prices and a possibility of explicit or tacit collusion. Yeah. High levels of corporate concentration make it easier to price gouge. See that? When there are only a small number of players, it is much easier to collude, and even short of collusion, it is easier to predict competitors' actions. All right? So the impact, it says in large cities such as New York, Philadelphia, and San Francisco, which have an abundance of competitors, grocery store mergers have been found to reduce prices. However, in smaller communities such as Fort Smith, Arkansas, Muskogee, Oklahoma, and Topeka, Kansas, with fewer competitors, grocery mergers have led to higher prices. See? So in these big cities, which they're even going to bring this to the big cities, but right now it's going to be the smaller towns and cities that are going to be hit, because they might only have one or two grocery suppliers in that area. All right. So the poor people, they're going to feel it first, and those that live in the cities, they're going to feel it a little bit after. But the point is, everybody's going to feel it. All right. Nobody's going to escape from this great tribulation that Yahweh Bashman Shai is bringing down on this earth. 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, verse 12. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that Yahweh shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seeds shall fail through the blasting in hell, and with a fearful constellation. So the farmers, they that till the ground, they're mourning because their crops ain't growing. The government is telling them that they can't grow as much as they used to because environmental policies, and you got to cut back on your carbon emissions. You got to cut back on your energy consumption. You see what I'm saying? Because it's hurting the planet. See, and also so-called natural disasters, wild weather events are affecting these crops too. All right, severe heat, severe cold, drought, things like that. So this is a very fearful time for the farmer. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Yeah, so rebellion is coming. See, because hey man, look, people can deal with being homeless, people can deal with not having a car, but when you take away people's access to eat, that's when all hell is going to break loose. All right, because food is the one thing, if they don't have comfort and nothing else that can give them comfort, is food. You know what I'm saying? Being able to, after having a hard day, oh yeah, I can go get some ice cream, or I can go to the, local fast food spot. It's a term called hangry, right? When you're hungry and angry, you know what I'm saying? Which that's a real thing, because it's, they've done studies on it, but when people don't eat for, a certain period of time, that don't really have any discipline, don't have any experience with fasting and stuff like that, the chemicals in your brain change, all right, and it makes you more angry, it makes you more compulsive, all right. You start to do things that you normally wouldn't do when you're hungry, right? This is why even when you look at wild animals, when they haven't eaten in a while, and they lock in on some prey, they be going all out. All right, because that's the chemicals in their brain, telling their body that, listen, you need to eat. All right, and you got to eat by any means necessary. Well, guess what? These people here in Babylon the Great, it's gonna be the same thing. Okay, when everyone doesn't have access to food, it's gonna be bad, man. It's gonna be extremely bad out here. There shall be sedition among men, and invading one another they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Yeah, people gonna do what they want to do. They not gonna listen to their higher officials, the mayor, the governor, the president, even. All right, and ain't gonna be no police out here to stop people neither, because they gonna defund that. But yeah, man, these are the days of vengeance, man. These are the days of great tribulation that the scriptures speak about. The days of sedition. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. All right, that's going into these lockdowns that are coming back. It was in Gaza. News just came out today that they pretty much did a ceasefire so that the inhabitants of Gaza can get V'd up. All right, because there's an outbreak of polio over there now. I wonder why there's an outbreak of polio. So there's a lot of biological warfare going on in these times. I'm saying? Esau just causing hell all around the earth. I'm saying? Because here it is, you've been raging in Gaza for damn near a year now, but you want a ceasefire so that people can get V'd up, which is going to lead to more death. So this man's the absolute devil. Yeah, verse 18, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. That man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right, and you read in the scriptures that famine is a prominent staple in last days prophecy. Okay, and even here in verse 19 it says because of the lack of bread, famine, lack of food. And you you already seeing that, which it goes along with that great tribulation, the time of Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation. All right, so these are the days that we're in, and it's important to stay locked in the prophecy. Stay close to Yahweh Shem Shai, that the Lord can make a way for you. You see, Isaiah 65:13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. And we can read on down to verse 14. It says, behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. All right. So the elect are going to eat and drink in a time of famine. All right. The scriptures say that the elect are going to sing for joy of heart. Right. But the wicked, all right, those that walk contrary to the ways of Yahweh Shem Shai, what's going to happen to them? They're going to be crying for sorrow of heart and shall howl for vexation of spirit. So this, and this shows you right here that these tribulations that are coming on the earth, it's not for the elect. This is judgment to the wicked. You see? It tells you about that in 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, where it says, victuals shall be so good cheap, that the plagues are going to come for scourges, for amendment, roughly paraphrasing, meaning that it's to deal with these people's wicked deeds. All right? So if you was a person that ate every day, you ain't skip no meals, you ain't never fast, you just eat constantly, eating good, right? The famine is going to come for you. All right? Because of your pride, man. Your pride, you've had all this money, you strengthen yourself in your wickedness. So the Most High is going to make these people hungry, man. All right, while the servants of the Lord, those that fear Yahweh Shem Shai, all right, are going to have substance, okay? You're not going to be out here like these people, when all hell breaks loose. And you're going to have a hedge of protection. All right, so this is why it's important to seek the Lord, have a relationship with Yahweh Shem Shai in these times, because it's really about to go down. Like, we're in that hour where, pretty much any day now stuff can happen to where the grid can go out, supply chains can just stop, banks can just close down and people just lose everything. Chaos can happen in a matter of 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? So this is a critical time of where we need to be, spiritually discerned and always watching. So I'll go ahead and close out. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying through the Rakakadash. Call Elohim Lad Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. And until next time, Lord willing, shalom to the elect. Kom Yasha Allah. and the Bible Ball. Shalom.